this gave the sound you really just want in this field. Just a buzz, a faint buzz. It's all the way down there. I mean, that's certainly 8-9 inches. Not sure what it is. It's certainly not whole. It's broken. It feels like it's got knobs on that side. So I don't know which side it goes, and neither do I know how old it is. It's or what it's made of. Is it silver? Don't think so. That's a bit of a strange one. Part of me thinks very old, and part of me thinks it might be a bit modern. Just don't know. Better have a closer look when we get back. Good shape though. I think it would have been circular, don't you? Well, I've just dug that funny round thing, which I've just shown you, which was just the half, which I think could be all, and I've got a signal right next door to it. So I think we better dig that and see what's going on. Put my sound thing in. Won't need a microphone today. It's absolutely still. How often do we say that? That's a bit buzzy and a bit irony, but go on, I will turn the mic on. Oh, it's not not working. It's a bit buzzy and irony, but that's what I expect. That's what you should expect when things are deep in pasture. If you saw my last video, don't be put off by that. There's a bit of iron there. It might be an irony cartridge for all I know, but that's what we're looking for in this field now. There's not going to be any obvious. If it's obvious, it's going to be a cartridge, or I would have probably have dug it. Well, it's sounding a bit more promising now already. I wonder if it's the other half. Is it the other half? It sounds a bit small and bright, if you want my honest opinion. It's not. I think it's a little Roman coin. Hooray! Another one. Doing this area really carefully. I don't always give the impression I don't grid at all. Of course I do. I grid most of the time, just not particularly, not stupidly delicately, but I do grid most of the time. Now I think that's got to be a Roman coin. Can't think what else it would be. It needs a bit of cleaning, but I can see some sort of design on it. Oh, it's the camp gates, isn't it? I think, if you can see that brickwork. Camp gates, must be, I think. And then just there, I can see a face going left. That Crispus like to go left a bit. And it's an odd shape, but it's definitely a Roman coin. Hooray! Well, this was the very next signal. Can you believe it? I never do 2 live digs in a row. You're not going to get 2 good things in a row ever. This is the very next signal. Wow, look at that. Beautiful voided lawn cross. My God, look at the. Well, there's going to be no problem getting the ID on that. That's fabulous. Henry III, cut half. Well, I'm pleased with that. Sorry I didn't live dig it, but as I said, we never do 2 in a row. Well, we'd better have a go at this one. I'm having to keep plugging my thing in because the headphones aren't working that well when I've got them both in together at the moment. I don't know why. But it's okay, it's not too much of a problem. It's in the same area. We might have hit, well, I know this is quite a good area because I've found things here already, but I'm just doing it carefully now. Now, I don't think that's a cartridge. I'll have to dig them anyway, and if they are cartridges, I want everything out of this field now. Because it's so big, that, and I've been doing it so unscientifically up till now, that I don't really, I need to understand it a bit better. And by doing it each section bit by bit, I'll get an idea of where the main areas are, if there are any indeed. Pinpointing well today. I always tell you when I'm pinpointing well and pinpointing badly. Today it's good, because it's pretty much bang on top. Is this another little coin? Let's hope so. Or a little bit of lead. Not a cartridge, so that's the main thing. It's just a piece of lead. Rats! God, that's annoying. I thought that might be quite good. Well, I think this is quite exciting. Because I can see, though I haven't completely opened it yet, from that side, look, it's a hook. Now, I've found a couple of incredible hooks recently, both Anglo-Saxon, and I'm just wondering if, no, I don't think it is. It's incredibly ornate and in beautiful condition, but that is going to be later. It looks like it's got rope work and flowers, and it's been beautifully done. It does look to be cast. So a little face there, I wonder. I think that must be Tudor or possibly later. I'm not quite sure. But when it comes to clothes hooks, I mean, that's an absolute beauty. Sand in this field keeps everything in such good condition. If I be completely honest, it's a bit of a shame it's not earlier, because the Anglo-Saxon ones are particularly special, but I'm not complaining because that's still fabulous. Absolutely fabulous. It's one of the best I've ever found. We won't go back to headquarters now, but we'll look at it when we do. I think it'll be worth it. Well, again, I am sorry I didn't live dig this. I knew it was going to be tiny, and it is. It's another tiny little Roman coin. 2 soldiers on that side, and an emperor there. Gosh, lovely. It's a really Roman area here. I've got a suspicion why. And there's a soldier on the stand. That looks like it might have been double stamped. Whatever. Anyway. Well, this may be more exciting as I don't think it's a cartridge. Famous last words. Always sounds a little bit louder here. There's a bit of water there. And I've got a feeling, and there's a very Roman area at the top of that hill about 1.5 miles away. And I've got a feeling this would have been the route from there to here, because there are just a lot of little coins dotted around in this particular side. That's just my theory at the moment. And with the little medieval things and little Tudor things as well, maybe it's always been slightly used. There's no evidence, it doesn't look like a trackway. I'll show you what I mean. Look, it's right up the top there, is where it's very Roman. Let me get my camera right. And the water's there. And it's Roman beyond there too. It's just a thought. Well, it's out, looking leady. No, that is a piece of flint. Oh, oh, it is a cartridge. Oh my God, how... We'll live dig the next one. It can't, there's too many good things here for it to always be cartridges. I don't know if you can see, but it's the perfect day to do this because the dew is making tracks, so it makes gridding really easy. One of the reasons I haven't done it in the past here is this huge great pasture field is really hard to track, and I'm not putting down bits of string and stuff like that. I'm not wasting my time with all that rubbish. I prefer to wait for a day when it's like this and do it properly then. Right, this is the next signal, exactly the next. the very next signal about a minute later. I don't think that's a cartridge. I really don't, unless it's a bit of one. It's certainly not a whole one. And if it is a cartridge, I'm going to stop live digging unless I know for fact it's not a cartridge. If it's just too obviously not, I think we'll just get on with it. It's out and it's there, I can see it. Yeah, not a cartridge. It's another little Roman coin. There are a few here. I'm not complaining, I could find these all day. But I slightly knew there would be. Now I think that is a valence. I think that we get a lot of valence here. It's winged victory on that side, and I'm sure it'll be valence or Valentinian on that side. Or a Rome commemorative. It's not in the best condition, this coin. It might clean up from that side anyway. That's quite nice, the obverse, or the reverse. So hooray! Getting a few Roman coins together, that's really good news. Hi there, welcome to headquarters. Well, finding that little Roman coin is going to segue really nicely into the next section of this video, because I've been sitting on some footage since April of a day that I went out and found two really cool things, but I didn't find anything else around those two things, so there was just no way I could make a video of it. So it's just been sitting there for the right moment, and this video coming out at Christmas time is the perfect time to actually show you these clips. And I haven't orchestrated it to be like that. That's just the way it's worked. I've just had them sitting there thinking, well, at some point I will include these in another video. So I'm going to take you back to April to another field under very different conditions, and I'll see you back here very soon. But just before I take you there, let's have a quick look at this rather unusual thing we found earlier in this video. I haven't found anything quite like it, but it turns out, having given it a really good clean, it's half of a medieval brooch of sorts. It's the wonderful thing about this hobby. Once you've found one thing like this, you'll never forget it. But every time you find something or someone shows you something similar, you'll know exactly what it is. They date to about 12 to 1400. I was using this book to try and get to the bottom of it, and it did actually help me with the search words. There's something called a cottle, I think it is. A cottle is what these little nodes are called. And it gave me a help in putting that into the search on the Portable Antiquities Scheme website to be able to find out what these are. And I'll show you a couple of examples of ones that I have found. But as I've said before, you need a bloody degree to get to the bottom of this book. It really is complicated. And to use as a reference book before being really aware of where everything is going to be near impossible. But meanwhile, Greenlight Publishing, which make that book there, and really rather wonderful books like this, Five to Identify 3, they've got a buckle book out, and I've got it, but I just don't have it to hand. And in the next video, I will be illustrating the buckle book to identify buckles. And I'm sure there are hundreds of books on buckles, but to have a really good one laid out like one of these is going to be really useful. So I will be showcasing the Greenlight Publishing buckle book in the next video. But meanwhile, let's go and have a look at these two things. Hi there, I have had an odd day. I'm on this huge field. Hope you can hear me, it's very windy but lovely. I'm on this huge field for the first time. And it's really hard to know where to start. So I've been galloping around, and very early on, believe it or not, I found a Roman brooch amongst hundreds of cartridges, literally hundreds and primers. Every second signal is a cartridge. In fact, every signal is a cartridge. But I did find quite early on this Roman brooch, and it gave me so much hope. It's a really nice one. It's not complete, but there's so much detail on it. I'm not sure which one it is. It's not a head stud, But I mean, it's got some sort of ribbing down the end there, and some design on the side where the spring would have been. So that was just absolutely brilliant. And I thought, well, I better try and find the hot-ish area, but there doesn't seem to be any. There's not one area where I feel the detector's going digger, 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 like you would want from a sort of Roman area. We are in Roman country, but I've been doing it really unscientifically. I've just been galloping around for about 3 hours, and I found just bits and pieces of lead, lots of primers, as I've said. I found a lovely Victorian coin, which is good. Some bits of flint and stuff. I even found a nice big bit of silver. And I think it's a bullhead George III, 1817, I can see. I think it might be a shilling or a sixpence, but it's in really bad nick. And I've come back to the bit, I think this will be the end of this video, the beginning and the end. I've come back to this bit here just to do a little bit near where I found the brooch, a bit more carefully. No digger, digger, digger. There's good signals are really few and far between. But look at this. Now this has got to be silver. It's just got to be. It's just, what is it? Is it hammered, or is it a denarius? Now I can see on that side, and I did take a tiny peek before I turned the camera on to be a bit more sure that it wasn't a button. And I can see now a figure sitting down. Now to me that smacks of the reverse of a lot of denarii. It's the Pontiff Maximus or something like that, the high priest, sitting down in his priestly stuff. I'm sure that's what that is. So I'm thinking, brilliant, it's a denarius. Turn it over and look. There is the early portrait, which means it's a nice proper silver one of a Roman emperor. Now, my gut feeling is it might be Trajan. I can see Augustus. It's not Vespasian or anyone like that. It's not Hadrian or Marcus Aurelius. There's no beard on that. I just don't know who it is. I can't see enough of the legend now, and I'm not going to rub it anymore, but that is absolutely fabulous and completely makes my day. I don't think this is a Roman area. I'm almost 100% sure of it. It's just not giving that vibe, but we found a brooch and now this, and nothing else Roman. No little bronze coins, no catches, no nothing, just a silver coin, a silver denarius. So look, we'll go back to headquarters immediately with this, have a look at it properly, and I'll say goodbye to you from there, because I don't think we're going to be here for very much longer, even though I will stay out a little bit here. Well, oh my god, I mean, that was just bonkers. It's an odd field. It's big, and there's no settlement or anything on it, but there just have been Romans going through it, and one of them dropped this. Now, it's not any of the people that I thought it was. It's not even Trajan, even though it sort of could have been. It looks a bit like him. It's Tiberius, the second emperor, son of Augustus, and you can see from the legend it says Ti Caesar Divi Augustus, which is Tiberius, son of the divine Augustus. So it's a Tiberius coin. Now Tiberius, I think I'm right in saying, was 17 to 37, something like that, AD. An unusual reign. You'll have to read up about it. It is sort of quite complicated. But the wonderful thing about this is known as the Jesus penny. And I have found one of these before. It's the Jesus penny or the tribute penny, because in the Gospels there is, as you all know, a part when they are trying to get Jesus in all sorts of trouble by tricking him into saying things he didn't want to say. And they ask him if they should pay their taxes to Caesar. Now, as I said, Tiberius was emperor during the reign of Jesus. Jesus says, bring me a penny. And they bought him one, which would have almost certainly have been this type. He asked whose name is on it, and they said, well, Caesar's. He says, so render unto Caesar what belongs to Caesar, and render unto God what belongs to God. So 1-0 up to Jesus. And as a result, this is known as the tribute penny. Now,
In the Greek originals of the Gospels, the word, I think, is something like denarion, which they therefore presumed was probably a denarius of Tiberius at the time, which is this coin. There are others who reckon that it might have been a Greek tetradrachm or something like that. I'm not exactly sure. And then the translation in the Bible, the English version of denarius into penny, etc., etc. There are a few complications, but the fact remains that this could be the very coin that Jesus used and touched to illustrate his render unto Caesar speech. So, well, you know, it's probably not, but it really could be. And therefore just the most incredible collector's coin. It's in beautiful condition. On the back we have packs, I think, or rather probably a depiction of the Empress Livia, who was Tiberius's mother. Now, if you don't know much about her, then you really should read up about it, all that time of Augustus and Livia and all the rest of it, because it is absolutely fabulous. And there are those who reckon that she probably killed about 9 people in order to get her son Tiberius to inherit the empire. So read all about Livia and Augustus and Tiberius, and just what a fabulous coin. And then this brooch was found very, very nearby, and then nothing else. I haven't even really researched it. I haven't really given it much thought since that time, because I put the finds from a session sometimes into an area, and it's only by doing a video and going over them that I really get to know them. Now, it's rather an unusual one. I think it might even be what's called a head stud brooch with that little nodule being there. I'm not exactly sure, but it's a really lovely thing. Anyway, I hope you all have a very, very happy Christmas and New Year and all that stuff. And I'll see you after it. But meanwhile, let's just go back to the fields, because we do find a few more really nice bits and pieces. And see you later.
Crikey, I have dug some stuff at depth over the last hour or so. Little tiny Roman coins, bits of lead. I mean, really surprising depth. Now, it's quite damp at the moment, but I'm listening out for those tiny signals. I thought we'd better do this live, just so I can try to illustrate what I mean. So, not just faint, it's not going to get any louder than that. That's the loudest it will go. So can you imagine what it is in my ears? I can hardly hear it. Now, I'm sure if you tweak the Deus and add this and the audio response higher, sensitivity higher, and all the rest of it, you'll probably get louder results on. But the flip side is I'm sure it's going to false more, and it's going to make certain sounds which aren't good sound more attractive. The way I've got this set up, and I'm very happy to give you my settings if you ask for them, is very deep stuff is not going to be obvious. It's going to be very unobvious. You've really got to listen out. But it's quite telltale when you get used to it. Now, I don't think that's iron. It's so faint. Not much from that side. Not much from that side. I mean, hardly anything at all. I mean, you'd be forgiven for passing that by 100 times out of 100. It's only because I'm keeping my ears open for that, things like this, which it's sounding louder in the speaker. I can hardly hear it. But I don't think it's iron. I think it's something. And I only think it's something because by trial and error, I'm preferring to dig these than the very obvious cartridges. Sounding a bit nicer now, isn't it? Possibly iron though now. It's definitely louder. It's more obvious now. We've got a trunk out. I've done several videos of how I use the Deus in pasture. I think it's where it really comes into its own. I don't know about the Manticore and all those other machines which really bellow stuff at you. I think you've got to really be on your toes for this. Right, it's definitely iron, but I just don't know. Worth digging, I think. Well, it's all the way down there. That's 9 or 10 inches. Whatever it is, I'm just praying we get a nice sound when I bring it out now. Yay! I don't care what it is. I don't care what that is. It's probably a cartridge. Because it was miles down and I could hardly hear it and I dug it. Wow. Okay. Phew. I've done a lot of these and thank God I haven't filmed them because they'd go on too long. It'd take too long to set up. It's a tiny Roman coin. So that just goes to show, look, all the way down there. I'm not kidding, it was at the bottom of that hole, so it's 10 inches. And it's a Roman coin. Now, I can't really impress you enough. I think it takes a lot of practice. And non-swanks, I think I'm very, very good at it now because I've been doing it a long time. But it's just listening out for a signal you can hardly hear. And look what it is. That, a tiny coin at 10 inches in thick pasture. Right. I don't know what's on it. Not survived particularly well. It looks like it has got some iron on it, actually. Anyway, I think it might be camp gates again. That will clean up, I think. But that just is. I mean, that could... it's a Roman coin. Fabulous. But imagine what it could have been as well on top of that. If you're not listening properly. Whoa.
Well, I don't know what it is. But it was a long way down. And if it's any good, I'll show you what it sounded like, or try to show you what it sounded like when it was down there. I don't know what it is yet, but I'm really hopeful. And that's why I want to surprise you at the same time as I surprise myself. Or disappoint myself, whichever way it is. But anyway, listen to this. Not a cartridge. It was a pinpointer and a bit, because it was in the very bottom of the hole. Not on the wall at all, it was perfectly central. Oh, it's a bit of lead. That's all it is. I'm so sorry. God, I was hopeful there. It's a tiny piece of lead. Well, not a tiny piece of lead. It might even be something. It looks like it could be a horse. I think it's a horse's head. But that'd be something if it was something. Is that a horse's head? I don't think so. Possibly not. But that was just a very long way down. I thought that was going to be a coin. That's why I got so excited and set everything up. Never mind. It was deep. Can you hear them? They're shooting. Pick your cartridges up. We'll finish on this. Talking about cartridges, I bet it is one. But anyway, it's a nice clear one. Since I've been concentrating all day on really dodgy ones, I've dug a lot of holes. Let's end on a cartridge. It's been good fun. It's been hard work. There we go. Bet it's a cartridge. I don't know, actually. I don't think it's a full one. If it is a cartridge, it might be a bit of one. We are quite close to water. I think they've done a lot of wild fouling probably here over the years. I bet it's a cartridge or lead. Right, let's not bugger about. Let's just get it out of here. There it is. I can see it. Well, I think it's a hammered coin. But I know it's a hammered coin because I can see it. Look at that. Bit of an unusual one, I think. Or if it's not hammered, it's definitely silver. So let's have a look. Is it a soldino? Or is it
penny. It's a very clipped York penny because it's got the quatrefoil thing in the middle. I think that means it's York. But absolutely smashed to bits. But something very nice to end on anyway. It's been a good day. It's been hard work, but it's been good fun. And see you next time.